first piece of homeschooling just to make it super simple, but to make sure we're like checking all the boxes of what I would like the school year to look like is the box system. I saw this on social media somewhere like 2 years ago, and it's been a really simple way to track for under high school age for me. And so there's a box for all 120 of our math and language arts lessons, and I didn't feel like labeling them 1 through 120. I'll just write them in as I go. But so there's a box to just highlight when we have all those done. The 60 history lessons that we do for the year, the science, as you can see, it's got letters in it. And so like we're doing a safety unit, a kingdoms and classifications unit, motion and simple machines, and forestry. So those that know those titles know that some of those are the good and the beautiful, and not affiliated with them in any way for affiliate links, but I'll link them in the bottom if you're interested in seeing them. And then forestry is through Harbor and Sprout. Harbor and Sprout I found last school year, and they bring a really great, unique study to our homeschool, depending on the school year and what we're using. But I've purchased about 10 of their units, maybe 9. They offer some really good back to school sales, winter sales, like buy one, get one free. And so I'll link them down below. I am affiliated with them only because I use them so much. More my older kids than my younger, but he will start using more next school year as we go. And then typing and handwriting are twice a week-ish each. And then for his electives, he's doing a good and beautiful music elective, and then he's doing a online elective for a few weeks for mythology. And then we have a sea turtle study, which is like his jam. He loves sea turtles. And then just a one-day salamander study. Those two are from Thistle and Biscuits. Again, not affiliated, but I'll link them below. They're just really fun and just something unique. And so this is what I put in my binder for just keeping odds and ends, that I check it as we go for the week. And super simple. Like I can just see how far we've come for the year, and it's super handy. And then for my high schoolers, I created this list, and so it has the week, like the date, and then as well as like the week number, and I track the week number in my binder, and I write in what they need to do. And maybe next year, my son, my older boy, I'll have him kind of do that. But that's how I know that I am telling them what they need to do, and it is now their responsibility to take care of it. And so like it's language arts up here, English, whatever you want to call it, is for 45 minutes a day, 4 days a week. Biology is a lesson a day, 4 days a week. And math is online, and I just assign that to them through the online system, and they just check mark it however many days they do it until it's done. And then as well, there'll be electives. And so we are in a co-op that's once a week for 3 months, twice a year. And I'll just write in like we're doing speech, so that's our speech credit. And so I'll just write in speech, and it'll be X'd out except for Tuesday, just so it's like the visual reminder. And then next year I'll probably have my oldest start keeping track of that. School tasks is just a little like odds and ends, and then sometimes they write in their flow of what they would like their week to look like, but mostly just this part, but I give them the option to organize that. Electives mostly go up here, but if there's like a project or some extra reading, we put that down here. And that's how I plan my kids' work. I'll show you our binder system, my binder system really, of how I keep track, and it's so simple. Okay, so this is my binder. It just has some mostly empty tabs of just a couple things here that I like to keep organized, little like extra studies that I just need to store. mostly it's my calendar. So this is for September. We actually start tomorrow, not tomorrow, tomorrow's Sunday. We start on Monday, mid-August. We start a little bit before local school district just because we take time off and we start slow. So we will only do 3 days of school next week, and it will only be math and language arts. That's it. Just a really slow start. We've had a long summer. We actually take for sure 1 day off a month if there's not a holiday, of just, we're not doing school today. We're going to go on a drive. We're going to go on a hike. We're going to go do something fun. And then we always take off anyone's birthdays if the birthdays land on a school day. And then we have the week of Thanksgiving. We have a 3-week Christmas. And then we have spring break on top of that. And then we end the Friday before Mother's Day every year. And that is just how we like to do it. So my high schoolers, their weeks are a little bit more full when it comes to how much like math they have to get done. And sometimes we'll have to double up on science for like 2 or 3 weeks just to make sure we're getting done on time. But because some homeschoolers, they don't care if they don't finish their curriculum. I care to a certain point that we get pretty close, and so there's some subjects I'm like, we are going to finish this. Whereas like my 5th grader, he only had like 3 or 4 lessons left of his curriculum, and he was doing great. So we stopped. We ended our school year. Because homeschoolers get behind their lesson plan. It's totally fine. So this is how, though, I just kind of make sure I've got my forecast for the school year, and we don't mess up on making sure we're getting enough done. So this is for September, and I just have a week labeled for 1, 2, 3, 4, however many we have. And I do that through till the end of the school year, and that's what I mark for my high schoolers. And then I mostly do this for my 5th grader of how many lessons per week. And then his sciences and my high schooler's sciences. And then I also write like here, I need 2 cups of blueberries for an upcoming lesson. So that's signaling to me, hey, make sure we have that, or I need to go to the store. But that's it. This is how I mostly keep track of what we're supposed to be getting done. So highlight here. So for my 5th grader, it says 5. So he'll be doing lessons 8 through 10 because we're only having a 3-day school week that first week for Labor Day. And then my high schoolers, again, 8 through 10 on some of their lessons. And then I just incorporate our breaks, and then there's a random day off. And so if we were to follow it perfectly, we would have, by the end of the month, we would have all these lessons done. So it might be I'm going to take another day off here instead of down here where I had labeled it. But by the end of the month, we're even keel for the most part. And then I just highlight when my son is ending units, because we do not finish the school year on every subject. We tend to finish on lower grade science and health, tend to finish those in April. Late April, maybe even beginning of April. We are part of an online charter with our younger kids when they are in younger grades, just to help with the cost of school, and also just has some field trip resources that it's just more affordable to go through them than it is to just go to the museum. It would be $55 for us to go to the museum out here that we go to a couple times a year, whereas through our charter, my younger son and I get in for free, and then I can tack on my high schoolers for $7 each. So whereas again, normally it would be $55 to get in. So it's a good resource, but all the online charters where we live and have access to, they are strictly online for high school, and I don't want that yet. I don't want them on a computer all day. We want them doing bookwork. We want them reading heavily, and so that's why we have that. But I have to plan out what my younger son is doing so that is meeting those requirements from the online charter, but making sure we're spaced out enough so that when we talk to his homeroom teacher and turns pieces in, I have something to turn in. So just a little bit different, but that's it. That's the planning I do outside of finding the actual curriculum. This is it. This is all the planning I do for my kids to make sure we're getting what we need to done, but also still living and having some free time and going on adventures.